Welcome to the Lynn Show, and with us today is a very beautiful lady. Her name is Mrs. Muhia. Welcome to the show, madam.
Welcome, thank you.
Kindly tell us more about yourself. Tell us who Wanjiku Muhia is.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy and glad to be in your show this morning. As you have mentioned, I'm Wanjiku Muhia. I was a former member of Nyandarua County. I was the first women MP after our Constitution of Kenya was given this opportunity for women. But currently I'm the member of East African Parliament at our regional parliament in Arusha.
That is nice. It seems you've been making a lot of impact to our country.
Yes, and I'm also a mother of two, a businesswoman, and I participate a lot in the current activities.
Okay, we are glad to have you here. So we'd like to get to know more about your current position and your former position, how it has made impact to our community and to our country at large.
Okay, maybe to correlate the events in terms of time, maybe I would wish to start with the previous. As you know, our situation in Kenya, or rather in Africa, the political arena is dominated by male gender. So very few women come on board and they aggressively fight for these political positions, like myself and many other. So we have, not myself alone, a lot of impact to the community, because when you're in parliament, at least in one way or another, we try to fight for the issues that affect women directly. However, this may not be known, may not be seen by the community, because at times parliament work in committee. At the committee is where all the work is happening. So you may find, if I'm the committee of water or health, I'll campaign and drive the agenda of water to my constituency, and so are other women, matters of health. And then this will be seen in the main plenary where we have the gallery. And so many of our people think maybe women are not very aggressive, they're not working, but we do have a lot of impact to our community.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I'd like to say you look quite young, and for a woman, that's quite it must have been challenging for you, and it must have been a good decision to decide to take up such a role.
It is a delicate balance, particularly with the young families, to balance this kind of job and the family matters, but everything is possible if you focus and you have the drive.
What really drove you into politics? Being a woman, the way our country is, men think they're the ones that can rule us.
As you see, the community has a lot of challenges. Every part of our country is suffering from basic needs like water, like healthcare, education, and employment. Youths are devastated and they're depressed because of the situation of life today, not only in Kenya, by the way, but the whole world. But as a person, I felt like there is something little I can do to make some impact. And I thought, if I keep on complaining that our MP should do this, the women leaders should do this, it may never see the day.
Yes.
So I thought I can go and join the others and do that I complained they should do. Yeah. And for your information, I started a foundation called Wanjiku Muhia Foundation in my county. I established this foundation with a vision to start a cancer center. This is like giving you an example of what drove me, because I realized many women, though all gender, they die at a very early age, others die and succumb to very painful deaths due to cancer, and I wasn't seeing our country really focusing on cancer matters so seriously. And so I thought I could establish such a center which could possibly also encourage the government, now that we have county governments, to do similar things. And true to my dream, I have seen quite several counties trying to copy-paste what I was doing. It is still a dream that has not completely come to an end, but one day or very soon it should be a reality. And these are things that drive people. Every person has a dream. So for me, like healthcare is an issue that was driving me to the leadership platform.
That's a very nice initiative, Mheshimiwa. And I think it's not too late to congratulate you to take up such an initiative, because most of us women try to stay behind, thinking, no, the men are the only ones that can take up such things. Yeah, and we're really grateful on behalf of my fellow women.
Thank
So
you.
I would like to also get to learn a few of the challenges you faced as the women rep, and also as being a member of the East African Legislative Assembly.
Just like opportunities, challenges are there in numbers, but of course, time and again, we try to concentrate on opportunities, because challenges can also be converted to opportunities. Basically, the culture ideologies in Africa, so to speak. The men dominate this arena of politics. So when you are coming out, of course, you'll not miss those who will downplay and try to make you feel like you cannot. And not me exception, but many women face this kind of a challenge. So somehow our culture doesn't really entertain or encourage women to go further and pick these political positions. So as such, we can I can say without fear of contradiction that this is a big challenge, not only to me but to women leaders. There is always that suppressing women gender to move. When you are like 5 members of in your constituency competing, as a woman sometimes you're not even counted. They'll try to see like you shouldn't. Even you can find a discussion somewhere in the shopping center, and if you are, for example, you are 3 or 4, you find people discussing those who are contesting, and somehow you are like others. That notwithstanding, financial challenges are there, particularly for women. Time and again, we haven't really owned a lot of properties, depending with your background. If you came from a peasant farmer's family like myself, you may not have had financial muscles to move forward your political agenda. As you know, the world today, even when we look at America, you need financial muscles to move. So financial difficulties is also another challenge. And also when you're a new member, challenges are there because you don't understand the structure of how politics work. So sometimes, like me, I came from a corporate world, and this was a banking institution, and banks have a structure. They move forward with a structure. When you open at 8 until 5, every department has a structure, but in our case, in politics, there is no structure. So time and again, you try to fit your experience, and it keep on failing.
Yeah.
And it is quite frustrating, but then you learn in time.
Move on.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, your initiative is very good, and I'm sure you're inspiring so many young women out there. Many of them are getting to learn from you if you decided to come from such a family and decided to take it upon yourself to work hard and get to a certain place, and also make up such initiatives that are going to help people in the community. And also, as much as you're just a women rep, you also consider even the men. Yeah, because something like the cancer center is involving everyone.
Yeah.
It's not just about one person. You are not biased about anything, which is quite a good thing, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, Mheshimiwa, being a member, we realize that you vied for the women representative seat last elections, but you happened to lose. And sadly, or should we say sadly, fortunately or unfortunately, because you also being able to represent our country in the East Africa is also a big move. That way you're able to make an initiative that's going to help people at large, rather than just your little Nyandarua County. Sasa. Yeah. So kindly tell us, how has it been for you in that journey?
This is a regional parliament, which is completely different from our national parliament, because here in our country politics is local, but in a regional parliament is the same parliament like what is in EU in Brussels, is like parliament of ECOWAS, is like parliament South Africa of Pan-Africa, is like parliament of SADC. All these regional parliaments, they deal with the regional matters. So in Arusha, you'll find, even if I'm a politician, but I'm somehow supposed to be diplomatic. So even when I'm debating, time and again, members, those who came from national parliaments like myself and many other, we always find ourselves crossing the red line and then retracting ourselves back, because you're supposed to be diplomatic. But basically what regional parliament, like in our case in EAC, deals with is actually an economic block. And just for your information and for benefit of our viewers, the East African community is termed or statistically categorized as one of the fastest growing economic bloc. You'll be surprised that it is fastest growing economic bloc considering the others, even in West Africa, which have been most organized like ECOWAS. So we are basically looking at matters of trade, and just to mention for benefit of our viewers, we have several projects which unfortunately are not very well known by our countries, and these are some of the projects which benefit our citizens in the whole region, direct or indirect. For example, we have the borders, and this is why the community has come together. These borders separate Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, Somalia, and all those other regions that are our neighbors. So when we come together, we eliminate the border and we create something called one-stop border post. So when you're going to Tanzania, maybe by road, and you're at Namanga, you'll find an officer on that desk from Tanzania, an officer from Kenya. He stamps for you a passport and the other one there, and you move on, making work very easy for migration of goods and services. Ideally, the regional parliament is like the government of Kenya, where we have three arms of government. In Kenya, we have the executive, that is the president and his cabinet. We have the parliament, and we have the judiciary. Same, we have the summit. Summit and is the executive arm of East Africa. So that is the presidents we have, and that is like the executive comparing to our country. Then we have judiciary, but in this case it is called East African Court of Justice. I'm sure you must have read or come across your news bulletin. We were handling a case of Mother Karua, and she won through the East African Court of Justice some issues she was sorting from her county. She didn't get enough justice as she expected in our country, so she came to Arusha. So judiciary is the East African Court of Justice. It has a judge president from country A. They rotate every time. Then we have our parliament, like our National Assembly. Now this is the parliament called East African Legislative Assembly, the IALA. The IALA, where I sit now, we have 9 members from each country, making it 54, and 6 ministers from each country, each minister from East African Cooperation Affairs, making it 60. Then, of course, we have the Secretary General, we have the council to the community, so we have ex-officials, making it a parliament of 62 members. We deal like our National Assembly with oversight. We oversight the institutions which are borne by the East African community. For example, in Kenya we have Lake Victoria Basin, which deals with water issues around Kisumu, the lake issues and all that kind of thing. So we have about 10 institutions. We have health research based in Bujumbura in Burundi. We have so many institutions. Kiswahili Commission, you may be aware that very soon we shall be having this interview in Swahili. Because you are aware even Rwanda has already made Kiswahili their national language, and that is the way. By the way, this agenda is already at African Union. They are also considering to have Kiswahili as the national language. So as such, East African has created a commission for Kiswahili so that they can continue seeing and making structures of how the community can deal with Kiswahili. So we have about 10 institutions. Maybe I'll email you so that you can have a lot of information about them. So we oversight them. We represent you. We represent you. Time and again you hear truck drivers are queuing 50 kilometers in Busia. They are not able to move because, for example, of COVID issues now. Those issues are raised. We pick them even from you people of the media, and very quickly we get the directors involved and the minister involved. We try to oversight, and after a few days, once the media escalate that, you realize the trucks are moving. That is how we represent you, but of course it's a topic that maybe you'll host means in future, then I can elaborate.
Expand it on it.
So we do oversight, we do representation, and we make laws. We make so many laws for information, for your information and benefit of our viewers. The laws that are made at a regional parliament supersede the laws of national parliament. So if we make a law, for example, we made a law of the AXO because the roads across our region were getting damaged because of the truck, and we say this is the maximum load that trucks will be carrying. Even if Kenyan Assembly had made a law and they had said maybe our trucks will be carrying 10 tons and East Africa consider 8, you shall use 8. So the laws that we make regionally are normally the superior laws than our, not of course forgetting the sovereignty of each country.
I'm sure our viewers are learning a lot
Yeah.
from you. Yeah, it's very nice to have such people that educate our viewers at the same time. Now, growing up as a young girl, did you ever see yourself getting into politics?
I cannot really remember like I saw myself where I am today. In fact, when I meet my teachers, they keep on telling me, we never saw you there. Sometimes you can say the favor of God, or where God intended you to be is where you'll be, whether you plan for it or not. But all the same, when I track my track record back, I always find myself, I was a critic, even at school. I was a school prefect all through. I was in a debate club, even at high school. So meaning I really wished, or I was passionate of debating. And then in our family, we always had the newspaper, even if it was in the village. My father used to go very far to get a newspaper. I remember Taifa Leo in Swahili, because that's what we could be able to read by then. And we could analyze. I remember even the past election when I was very young, we could analyze politics of who will win, even constituencies that we never knew. Yeah.
So do you plan on going back to being Mama County?
With the BBI Manenos now, we are not sure if that seat will be there. But of course, one thing I
Given
can
the
say,
chance, you would take
I
it.
may not say what I would be, because time in politics is of essence to calculate. What I know is that I'll be in the ballot, not in the ballot of Yala, but in the ballot of Kenya.
Oh, you will be.
That I will cross the bridge when I come.
Okay, so since you've said you'd like to be in the ballot of Kenya, that means you'd still want to represent your Nyandara County people in whatever way. It doesn't have to be the specific position you are in, but you do not mind representing them in another way.
I will definitely.
What would you like to do for these people in the future?
I really wanted to see my dream come true, particularly on this cancer center establishment. And I really want to see if healthcare can be tackled differently. Because when we move all over the world, we find healthcare is really tackled differently. It is given a priority. And I feel as a leader, I don't need just to complain of how it should be done, but I should be able to do it in my own way, and maybe other people can get inspired and follow.
Okay, as we wind up, please leave us with some words of encouragement for our viewers. I'm sure they have learned so much, especially the young girls, those that think they're from poor backgrounds and cannot make it. I'm sure they have seen you as a testimony. Kindly give them some words of encouragement. Tell them what you think would be helpful to them in the future.
Okay, I would say they should never stop dreaming. They should continue dreaming until they catch their dream in their hearts. They should focus. Of course, hard work never goes unrewarded. They should work hard. And this is our country. When we have problems, let us not complain. Let us wake up and try to fix what each one of us can be able to fix in our small ways. Then we can make our country better. But these political positions are good positions. I would encourage the girls to come for them, the young men also, especially the youth. And just to mention, during this COVID time, I have seen in media platform that the countries that have performed very well have women leaders, say of Germany, Finland. I'm sure you have come across them, and they have been going around. So women are good leaders. The women should believe in themselves, but more so the youth should also come on board, and we try to take this country to where we feel it should be, within our own control. Okay.
Thank you so much. I don't know if we should call you Mama East Africa now, because you're not Mama County. I'm sure our viewers have got to hear it from Mama County, Mama East Africa herself.
And maybe in the future, Mama African Union.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. I've been your host, Lynn. See you next time.
Thank you.
Hooray!